I'm Matthew Bennett. I'm one of the co-founders and I'm the Chief Creative Officer of Zach. New Balance came to us probably about 9 years ago initially with one of their brands called Warrior Football, which we were the global creative agency for 4 years. And then 5 years ago, they decided to move their entire business and launch into global football under the New Balance brand. So they came to us to launch them globally using their players and their licensed assets to try and capture a completely new market for the brand. As an agency, we had some great experience with New Balance, with the individuals involved and with the team from the previous work that we'd done with Warrior Football. We probably have the distinction of being one of the only agencies in the world to launch 2 brands into the world's biggest game. The brand was in kind of a different shape in different regions all over the world, and what we wanted to do was launch into football with consistency so that every market around the world that would eventually come to sell football product had a very consistent brand positioning. At that time, they were also in cricket, in tennis with some big kind of higher profile athletes there as well. So to further that credibility, but also to appeal to a much younger audience, which would then create a halo effect into their lifestyle business, football was definitely the way to go. It's an independent brand. It's nowhere near the scale and size of Adidas and Nike, but we use that to our advantage in terms of some agility and getting some decisions made quite quickly. But yeah, key to absolutely everything was understand the market and the dominant forces within the market, but really to understand how we can create something which appeals to the consumer and is very sort of relevant and contemporary of the moment. So our kind of strategy was to keep in touch with insight, to kind of keep in touch with the target market and to have something that felt very fluid over the longer term, rather than something which is kind of laid down like a tombstone. What we found is whilst younger than them, sort of 13-year-olds maybe idolize players and want to be like players, Ronaldo, Messi, all the rest of it. These guys appreciated those players. They respected those players for their ability and they respected them for their longevity in the game, their skills, their technique, their sort of brand image and all the rest of it, but they didn't want to be them. They wanted to be themselves. They wanted to be their own version of a professional footballer. So for us, having a bank of pros on New Balance's books, it wasn't about kind of putting them on a pedestal and setting them up as, these kind of guys that are, young millionaires, drive great cars, and here's all the trappings of success. And turning them into cartoons and all the rest of it. It was about reducing the distance between those pros and their audience and showing them that how they get there. It's not just hard work. It's hard work. It's kind of a state of mind. It's an attitude. It's this kind of relentlessness that you have to. The sacrifices you have to make and to be relentless about your pursuit of excellence within the game. We looked at kind of Nike and at that time they were very much idols. Adidas was very much about kind of performance. Under Armour was kind of about hard work and just kind of, beasting your way through it. They had a lot of kind of darkness and power in their brand and creative. We wanted something that sort of fitted in between all of those, which would sort of talk about independence, talk about you owning your own identity and stripping away the ephemera and the kind of all of these kind of shiny facets of success, and showing that within there is hard work, there is performance and technique. There is kind of, that you could be a hero, but you've got to get there under your own steam and you've got to get there by your own means and take care of your own identity, I guess. And that's the bit where we started to find something that worked really well between New Balance as an independent brand who wanted to do something different, and an audience who had kind of grown out of this idolizing their footballers and were finding their own sense of self and identity and were protective of that. Yeah, awards are great. It's kind of recognition, from the industry, from peers and things. It was more a sense of long term. There are hurdles to be overcome with any client agency relationship, with getting work across the line and selling work, and you've got to take a lot of people on the journey with you. And I think there's awards for campaigns, which are recognition of how good that campaign is, but for something that feels a bit more long term, that was kind of great recognition of a lot of hard work.